Hi, I'm Sylvia from Kitchen Creations, and on today's episode I am making oxtails and butter beans. These oxtails are so delicious, packed with flavor and pork tender. Here are my ingredients: oxtails, butter beans, ketchup, green seasoning, soy sauce, brown sugar, bell pepper, chopped garlic, onion, Habanero pepper, green onions, carrots, tomato, and here are all my spices. I have thyme, adobo seasoning, Sazon, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and distilled white vinegar. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. First, we are going to start by cleaning the oxtails. I'm just going to give this a good rinse first to remove all the blood. Now take your white vinegar and pour it over the oxtail and just rub it in. Give it a good rinse. Now the oxtails are nice and clean. Send the green seasoning, your onion powder, adobo seasoning, black pepper, thyme, Sazon seasoning. Give this a good mix. Add your soy sauce and your ketchup and set it aside. Now let's start by chopping up our vegetables, and I'm only going to use half of this red bell pepper. After chopping all your vegetables, go ahead and place them with the oxtails. Hey guys, so every time I chop onions, I always end up crying. So if you know any tricks to prevent that, please let me know in the comments. We are done chopping our vegetables. Now we're just gonna give this a good mix with the oxtails. And if you can do this overnight, would be so much better. But if you're short on time, just put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes before you start cooking them. After 30 minutes, I pull it out of the fridge. Look how well seasoned this is, guys. This is going to be so good, and I cannot wait. Over medium heat, add some oil to cover the bottom of the pan. Add your brown sugar, and guys, if you have browning seasoning, go ahead and use that while marinating your meat. But since I don't have any browning, I am using brown sugar, and it will do the exact same thing. As you can see, the brown sugar is starting to melt and bubbling. This is exactly what we want for these oxtails to have this nice golden brown color. Place your oxtail in. Now let them fry for about 4 minutes on each side. After 4 minutes, go ahead and flip them and look at the color on them. Doesn't this look so good? I cannot wait to dig in. Now guys, tell me this does not look delicious. Oh my gosh. And the smell is incredible. So we'll let this side cook for another 4 minutes. After browning the other side for 4 minutes, I am going to transfer them into this pot and continue the cooking process. I just need something bigger to finish cooking these in because I will be adding some water to it. So go ahead and take all this and pour it right over it. Now take your veggies and just pour this right on top. And we are going to let this simmer for 10 minutes before we add any water to it. I end up checking this after 20 minutes. And look at all this yummy juice that it has produced. It's looking really good. So we do need to add some water to this to finish the cooking process, because this meat is super tough and it needs a lot of water to cook. At this point, I am going to add in my water. Add your habanero to it and let this cook for about 2 hours, and keep checking in between just to make sure that the water is enough to cook the oxtail. So if you do need to add some water to this, go ahead and add water to it as needed. After 40 minutes, this is how it's looking. I'm going to give this a good stir to make sure that nothing is sticking to the bottom. And guys, at this point, I do not need to add any more water to this. It is cooking down nicely. And we'll come back and recheck it in 40 minutes. After 20 minutes, check to see if the oxtails are tender. They are not ready, but I am going to add a little bit more water. And I'm using hot water for this so it doesn't stop the cooking process. I'm just going to pour it right in the middle and give it a stir. So these oxtails have been cooking for about an hour now. So in about another hour, it should be ready. But just keep checking just to make sure that it's not burning on the bottom. And this is looking really good. So go ahead and cover it and we'll check back on it in 40 minutes. Sorry guys, my camera died. At this point, after the 40 minutes, go in and add in your garlic and your carrot. And I'm adding another half a cup of water to this. So I'm going to cover this and let it cook for about 30 minutes before adding the butter bean. Go ahead and give this a good stir before we add our butter beans to it. And when you add the butter beans to this, just make sure that you don't keep stirring this so the butter beans doesn't break or get stuck to the bottom of the pan. Cover it back up and let it cook the last 15 minutes. My oxtails and butter beans are done. Now it's time for the taste test, guys. Look how delicious this is. Oh my. I don't even know where to start. It's so good. And look how tender this meat is. Look how tender. Fork tender, guys. Look at this, fork tender. This is what I call fall off the bone oxtail. Full of goodness, and it's so good with the rice. Guys, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.